What's up guys, John here. I'm a certified public accountant who specializes in personal finance. Many friends ask me if having a written budget necessary or what budgeting system worked well. Is it the envelope method or the old-fashioned paper and pencil? In this video, I'm going to answer all these questions and give you some actionable tips. Please watch the video until the end because I want to make sure you hear all the money saving tips I'm going to share with you. There are literally dozens of different ways to do budget. There's the old-fashioned writing everything down on a notebook, or using apps such as Mint, or you could use the spreadsheet like Excel or Google Sheets. I actually try them all. It all comes down to what is more convenient for you and what works well for you consistently. I personally like the spreadsheet because I use spreadsheet for my job every single day and I'm very familiar with it. So there are two very popular budgeting methods I'm going to go over. The first one is called the envelope method. This method basically you categorize different living expenses in a different envelope. So when you get paid every time, you physically allocate the cash into different envelopes, such as food, rent, utility, or entertainment. And so the logic is you allocate the money in each envelope and you only spend what's in there. Once you depleted the money there, you tell yourself, I am done with it, I maxed out for this month, I cannot spend on this anymore. I have to be disciplined and I have to wait until next time I get paid or until next month. So this makes sure you don't overspend on certain things, right? So think of it as having a training wheel when you just start on biking. When you just start doing budgeting, it's very restricting. You feel unhappy because I used to be able to spend everything and whenever I want. Now I'm restricting to this allowance only. But it will make sure you don't overspend. So it is a method that's worth trying when you're starting out. Another method is called pay yourself first method. If you don't like the idea of limiting on what you spend, this pay yourself method may work very well for you. How it works is that every time you get paid, you will take 20% and transfer or put it aside in a savings account. That's for your saving. Then the whatever left over, you are free to spend however you want it, guilt-free, right? So some people say, I like this method because I don't have to watch every single dollar I spend. I know that as long as I have this pot of money for me to spend this month, I can spend however I want it and I'm not overspending because I already take 20% away. This method works really well. Also, you just have to see which one fit your personality and which one will work well for you. After you pick your method, the next thing you want to do is categorize your living expense into 3 different buckets. They are fixed expense, variable expenses, and discretionary expenses. The fixed expense are things like mortgage payment, property tax, cable bill, or phone bill. They don't change from month to month. They're basically the same amount every month. So you want to categorize them as fixed. The next one is variable expenses. These things do vary from month to month and depend on your usage. And you have certain amount of control over it. These things include groceries. Certain utility bills fluctuate every month, such as if you turn on AC in the summer month, you're going to spend more electricity. And so it's not the constant amount every month. Gasoline for your car, depending on what you do for your work, or if you go summertime, go on vacation and you drive more, a lot of road trip, you will spend more money on gasoline, right? So you have certain amount of control over it. The third category is called the discretionary expense. This kind of expense you have complete control over it. They are not necessity for your living for your living, and you will have control over it. These things include charitable donations, eating out, travel, or buying the clothing. You have certain control over these things. So the reason we want to categorize these expense this way is, the tip for saving money is you want to minimize your fixed expense. You want to go over it, look at it, you want to keep it as low as you can. Then adjust your variable expense, because you do have certain amount of control over how much you spend in this category, right? Then you want to cut down on the discretionary expense. There are things that possibly make you happy, but they're not necessary for day-to-day living. So if you are really determined to start saving money for your goal, you have to cut down on your discretionary expense. There's a certain rule of thumb that could help you looking at your budget and make sure you have saving each month. It's called the 50-30-20 rule. The 50 means you want to spend 50% on needs, things that are essential to life and you can live without. The 30% you want to spend on wants. These are things that make you happy but are not essential to living, such as travel, eating out, movie, buying fancy bags, right? 20% you want to set aside as savings or paying off debt or saving for retirement. If you live by this rule, you will make sure you have saving on the side. So after watching this video, you should start doing your budget if you haven't done so already. You want to start by taking out 1 to 3 months of bank statements and credit card statements and start tracking down using the method we mentioned below. Either spreadsheet, writing on a paper, doesn't matter. Just start. The key is you have to start and then start doing it either every month or every 3 months. And you want to see what things you are spending. You'll be very surprised. Once you go through this budgeting exercise, you will see you have spent a lot of things on unnecessary stuff. At least it happens to me. When I did mine years ago, I've been doing it every single month, right? And when I just started, or even about 6 months ago, when I start doing it and I see, wow, there are things that such as Netflix bill, it's been on subscription, but I figure I just never had enough time to watch those, right? It's unnecessary, so I cancel it. So when you go through this exercise, you're going to go through a lot of things that you might find it unnecessary, and then you can start decide whether you want to keep it or not. After you have your monthly budget set up, the next goal you want to have is set up an emergency fund. This is to set up in order to prevent you from having to go into debt or sell investment at the wrong time when the emergency situation arises, such as you all of a sudden lose your job or you got sick and you cannot go to work for a period of time, right? The general rule is to save about 3 to 6 months of living expense. Since you already have a budget set up, if your living expense is $10,000, your goal will be to save at least 3 months. So that's $30,000 on the side in cash or money market fund. You put it in a savings account, something very safe, because you don't want the value to fluctuate. You might need it, right? Okay, so I hope this video is helpful. I would like to hear from you. Let me know what budgeting system worked for you and if there's any money saving tip you want to share. I also do private financial consultation. For any inquiry, my email can be found at the description section below. If you like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. This channel is made for you guys. Every week I cover different personal finance topics to help you save money and grow your wealth. I'll see you in my next video.